up everyone, and welcome back to a bit of World of Warships for a change. Now, this is HMS Neptune, which is the Tier 9 Royal Navy light cruiser, and it is a lovely little piece of kit. The common disadvantages of the Royal Navy light cruisers that everybody was very adamant about when they got released are that they have small caliber guns all the way up, and they have almost no armour. But when you get up into the higher tiers, these aren't really disadvantages, because when you've just got 6-inch guns, that means that you have 6-inch shells, which are an awful lot smaller than 8-inch shells that most of the other cruisers have, so you can get a higher volume of fire out. And seen as though engagement ranges are generally longer, because all the ships have bigger guns and the engagement ranges increase, sometimes it's better to just put more fire out on target than it is to actually put big shells out, if that makes sense. The second problem is that it's a light cruiser, so it has very thin armour. In fact, most of the time it kind of feels like you're going around in some kind of paper boat. Ironically, because this is a ship that never existed, it's a paper ship. But none of the cruisers from Tier 8 upwards have armour that's really worthwhile when something horrific like the Yamato is firing at you, because an 8-inch shell doesn't care if you have 10mm of armour or 50mm of armour, it's still going to get in there and blow you to pieces. So you get something like Neptune, very thin armour, translates very easily into manoeuvrability and speed. So it really pays off a lot more at these upper tiers, I think, to be fast and manoeuvrable than it does to be heavily armoured, because everything out there has got a bigger gun than you. The other thing that the British cruisers have going for them though is smoke. So I've just popped my hydroacoustic search, or sonar in the real world, or the non-Russian speaking world rather, so I can see any torpedoes that might be coming my way while I lurk around this corner. I've popped my smoke screen. I can happily sit here looking at the combat mission term that just popped up. Go Dropbox. And I can fire away at that Bliskowitz, or however you damn well pronounce it, Polish destroyer, which is in the middle of the cap. Now, the problem I've got here, despite the fact that I'm doing a good job, because this actually, Neptune has a very good AA rating. No defensive fire ability, which maximises your anti-aircraft capacity, but very good AA, and I've managed to sit here, and our friendly carrier has flown his planes back over me in an attempt to lure the enemy fighters on. But that's about all I'm useful for. In that little interlude there, I couldn't see anything because no one was spotting. Now this Shores has popped up. That's the Tier 7 Russian or Soviet cruiser. Quite nippy, difficult target to hit. This isn't a fantastic position because I really could do with being in the cap. I've got about 30 seconds left on the smoke screen, and I've got a very fast, manoeuvrable target at quite a distance to hit. Plus he's angled the armour, so British armour piercing shells aren't fantastic at piercing any amount of angle that they encounter, so a lot of the shells are just going to ricochet off. But my smoke screen's about to run out, but the friendly Bliskowitz, friendly Polish destroyer there, just sat in the cap, has popped his smoke screen, so we're going to go and sit in that. We're just going to hop very quickly out of one smoke screen and into the other one. This is where one of the best features of the Royal Navy cruisers really pops in, and that's the acceleration. They really do go like shit off a stick. So now we're sat in the cap. That's just purely a lucky strike from the Shores, and it didn't really do that much damage, so we can now sit here quite calmly, pick our next target. Nothing's in range at the moment that we can see. We're not capping though, so there is something in the point with us. We just can't see the little bugger. Got to be a destroyer.
Torpedoes to starboard.
Yep, that's a wall of torps coming our way.
Torpedoes to starboard.
Not going to hit the Shores. He's just going out the edge of range. Now the smoke screen is slowly dissipating, but we've got a couple of seconds to work out what's going on in the map. Both teams are trying to go down to sea en masse. So what's going to be happening is the enemy team is going to be stacking up behind these islands just out of frame to the right here. So what we want to do is get into a position still in the cap so we can keep capping. We're going to hunt this destroyer down, and then we're going to see if we can't get the flank on them. 1 minute till my smoke screen's back up. If I can get the flank on them, friendly ships down at the bottom. Oh, there's that destroyer. Let's start filling him in. Little Z-23, I think. Creepy little German ships. If I can get into a position to flank the enemy forces that are going down to sea, I can pop my smoke screen. Friendly ships down at sea will be spotting the enemy, so I'll just be able to conveniently sit there and blaze away. Neptune's 6-inch guns have a 5-second reload, so that's 12 6-inch shells every 5 seconds. And that really starts to add up very quickly. A little bit of artifacting going on there from the recording software. Go OBS, that's fantastic of you. That destroyer's been forced out of the point. I'm getting a bit of fire from turpits there. One of the shells has gone through Y turret, I think, Y or X. Always get them mixed up. A bit of fire from the shores coming from the left. Smoke screen's back up. We better pop that because people are shooting at us.
Smoke generator activated.
Parting shot at the old Z-23. And now, turpits, you started shooting at me, so I'm going to start shooting at you. A bit short. The big thing, I think, with the smoke screen, when you've lost sight of the enemy, the big thing you lose is the ranging. So you can generally put shells out in the right direction, but they tend to be long or short. Not a problem I've got with this turpits though, and I'm just going to start putting those shells out and getting some chunky damage numbers going to come up in a bit. 16 penetrations so far, and I can just start pouring these little piddly little insignificant shells into his superstructure, which isn't very well armoured, and we can just get on with wrecking it. See, 1,000 every couple of times. Just going to switch over to this New Orleans. I'm actually much more scared of the New Orleans than I am of Turpit, because New Orleans has radar. Can't remember what the range is on it, but I want that New Orleans to be dead, because the last thing I want to be doing is sitting here stationary in the smoke screen thinking I'm safe, only for some radar to come on. Oh, they've had a collision. Oh dear, New Orleans, that's not going to end well for you. Now Turpit's putting a couple of shots out my way, but it's not going to hit me because he can't see me. He knows I'm in here, they all know I'm in here, but it's difficult to shoot at what you can't see. Now, I'm just going to put a few torpedoes. I say a few, I mean about 8. Oh, there goes the New Orleans. That's the long travel time on these shells. Just going to put a load of torpedoes round that corner. The enemy's going to dither over there. Turpitz is dithering. Smoke screen's about to go. Time I left, get moving, start manoeuvring. Make it difficult for them to start hitting me, because they're going to start putting shells out my way anytime now. The enemy's not going to want to go around that corner. Turpitz, as you can see, has tried to turn in, and he's actually hit that island, and he's stuck there, a sitting duck for those torpedoes. So let's try and put some shells into the Amagi there that's not got too much health left. Yep, the torps look good. This is always a tense moment, turning round. I want to be able to get the other side of torps off, but to turn round I've got to go broadside on for a little bit, and that's, yep, 3 torpedoes into that Turpitz. He's going to be feeling that, and we can just start pumping some more shells into him. Angle's bad though, so back to the Amagi. Put a couple of torps out his way. Long range torping like this is not necessarily going to hit, but in a little while the enemy might get the willies when he suddenly has to react to a load of torpedoes coming this way. Torpedoes aren't just there to make, you know, they're not just there to sink ships, put holes in things, but it's actually a really useful function that people see them and go, oh shit, torpedoes, and then they have to react to that. They've got something else to think about. They might have to maneuver in such a way that gives you a good shot. Now, Amagi's dead, someone else finished him off. Here comes Rune, he's the next customer. Now, Rune's the tier 9 German cruiser, which has 8-inch guns and a bit more armour than this, so he's going to do some serious damage if he starts landing some good hits. So let's turn away, spam some torps in his general direction, just in case. Luckily, he's had to turn away from me for a little bit because those dive bombers came in and splattered him a bit. Downside is, that means he's obviously going to be off course for the torpedoes, so they're useless. But I'm going to be behind this island in a little bit, still manoeuvring, still trying to make it difficult for him to hit. He's getting 1 or 2 hits in, but it's not a big deal. And now we're probably good. I'm in defilade behind this island. He doesn't have the angle for me. And conveniently, here comes an Izumo. Now, Izumo is the sort of the precursor to the Yamato. It's the Tier 9 Japanese battleship, based off the HMS Rodney, HMS Nelson, when it has these 3 16-inch turrets at the front. It also got a good chunky bit of superstructure, which isn't as well armoured. That's the kind of thing that you want to be aiming for if you've got a British cruiser. Suddenly when you're in a British cruiser, you stop shooting at the waterline of ships trying to hit the citadel and you start shooting at the superstructure. Which, you know, is a bit of an alien concept when you first start it. Now, back out from behind this island, Rune's down to very low health here, everybody's shooting at him. He's not going to last, he's on fire. Yeah, friendly Tier 9 German battleship, Frederick the Great, or Freddy, burnt him to death. Now, here's another friendly Freddy, our other friendly Freddy, who's asking for a bit of help with these dive bombers. We can get to see Neptune's AA rating here, so I finally got the B hull refit. And I'm just going to sail around here, get to work, putting myself in between these incoming enemy aircraft and our friendly battleship, because it's a fantastic asset. I'm also going to get some free points just by sailing around. Here comes some more. 4 planes in a squadron, it's a Japanese aircraft carrier. Neptune's got this horrendous AA rating. Yeah, there they go, they just melt away under my AA and his AA, so that's a little bit of cooperation there. Oh, here comes some torpedo bombers, or a torpedo bomber. Yeah, down it goes. So, we're on top here, we're going to win, surely. We've got plenty of ships left. There's just a Bismarck left right at the bottom, enemy Bismarck, which is getting filled in by our stuff. There's a destroyer out there somewhere, and there's an aircraft carrier out there somewhere. And as you've just seen, I'm not particularly worried about the aircraft carrier. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to head off this way. I'm detected, so something is nearby. Something is within that outer dotted line on the map that can see me, and I reckon it's got to be the carrier. Those planes came in from this general direction, so let's get up there, see if we can't hunt the carrier down. Everybody likes carrier hunting. They don't shoot back. They're great fun. And nope, first we've got the Bliskowitzer from the start, the enemy little Polish destroyer. He's unfortunate enough to have come into detection range. I'm not sure I'm detecting him. It might be one of the battleships, but you know, it's the end. He's probably just come in for one last torpedo run. But unfortunately, to get away from the battleships, he's turning broadside onto me, and you know, 5-second reload time, I can just correct very quickly. Yeah, there he goes. So he's not the person who was spotting me, because he is now dead. So, or he was spotting me, but now he's gone. I'm still being spotted. There must be something else. So let's go this way. Everybody else is going down the map. Let's go up the map. See if we can't find that aircraft carrier. And yep, there goes Bismarck. Torpedo bombers got him. Here we go. Ah, there we go. It's a Shikaku. Nice, defenseless target. And we can just start filling him in. Fairly good range on him. See these British armor-piercing, or semi-armor-piercing shells at work. So in they go, plunging fire. And just generally scratching to death. One of the problems, or one of the aspects of the British cruisers is that because you've got these 6-inch shells with the strange kind of armor piercing thing and no high explosives, you don't get the same kind of dramatic effect that you do with some of the other ships. So, you know, if you hit something with a battleship salvo and you really plaster it, you can delete an enemy ship in one shot. When you're a cruiser and you can set things on fire, then you get this steady damage stream coming in as the enemy ship burns to death. But with this, it's kind of... it feels like you're scratching away. I mean, I've taken him down to half health. And still going to... I've lost him because there's a bloody island in the way, or an iceberg, or whatever. Just have to keep plodding on, come round this corner, get the guns all back online. Not going to bother with the torpedoes. And just start filling him in. Yep, there he is. But the interesting thing here is the angling. You'll see it in a minute. So, we're getting a good number of penetrations here. Not so many non-penetrations and ricochets and things. I'm really gonna just scratch him to death. You know, a nice little bit of target practice to finish the match off with. Come on, come on, come on. Yeah, and now we've kind of got him down, and suddenly he started to turn in very slightly. Suddenly we're just getting ricochets. You know, it's absolute exaggeration. This guy should be extremely dead right now because I'm putting so many shells into him and he's on such low health. It's not doing anything, and finally, you know, he actually survives. We hit the points limit. We hit 1,000 points, so we win. But, you know, it's a good game. 154,973 damage, 305 shell hits. So, 6-inch shells at tier 9. Do they fit in? Do they not fit in? Well, 305 of them fit in. When you can put 305 hits on target and you can conspire to fight on your own terms from the smoke or whatever, the damage really builds up. 154, well, almost 155,000 damage is really, really good. There you go, HMS Neptune, guys. Nice little bit of kit. Hope you enjoyed that, and I'll catch you in the next video.